Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the University of New Orleans. Please rise now for the processional. You may be seated. Distinguished guests, esteemed faculty, students, and alumni, it's my great pleasure to welcome you to the investiture of Dr. John W. Nicklow as the 7th leader in the history of the University of New Orleans. I'm Dennis Woltering, your Master of Ceremonies for this afternoon's event. Today's ceremony is an important event in the history of the University of New Orleans, which is one of the foremost public assets in this great city of ours. We will pay tribute to the institution's remarkable history and tradition while celebrating its bright future under President Nicklow's leadership. Today is a reminder not just of the great responsibilities facing the university's president, but of the crucial role that the city's only public research university plays in our region, in our country, and in the world. Thank you for sharing in this special occasion. Your presence today honors the University of New Orleans in many ways. It also highlights our common belief that an institution such as this, with core values of accessibility and academic excellence, improves the lives of individuals across our community, across our region, and our country. Please rise now for the posting of the nation's colors by the members of the Naval Joint Reserve Base at Belle Chase. Please remain standing for the national anthem performed by the University of New Orleans Concert Band and soloist Grant Hebert, a graduate music student, and for the invocation offered by Father Paul DeRozier.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Let us pray. We praise you, Lord God of all creation, for your goodness to us. We gather this afternoon to begin a new chapter in the life and history of the University of New Orleans. We ask you in a special way to bestow your blessing upon Dr. John Nicklow as he assumes the role of president of the university. We ask you to give him the gifts of wisdom and strength in his leadership role as he guides the students, faculty, and staff into this new chapter. We ask for your blessing today and in the days to come. Amen.
Thank you, Father. You may be seated. At this time, I'd like to introduce members of the University of Louisiana Board of Supervisors, Mr. Jimmy Bo Martin, Chairman of the Board, and Mr. Alejandro Perkins, and the other members of the Platform Party, the Honorable Mitchell J. Landrieu, Mayor of New Orleans, University of Louisiana System Interim President, Dr. Dan Renaud, Ms. Leanne Sipe, President of the UNO Staff Council, Dr. Cherie Trombach, President of the UNO Faculty Senate, and Mr. Antonio Torres, the UNO Student Government President. We're joined by the former leaders of the University of New Orleans, Chancellor Greg O'Brien and Chancellor Tim Ryan. We're also joined by the following college presidents and chancellors: Chancellor William Wainwright, North Shore Technical Community College; President David Landry, University of Holy Cross; President Nick Bruno, the University of Louisiana at Monroe; President James Henderson, Northwestern State University, and incoming president of the University of Louisiana System; President Walter Kimbrough, Dillard University; President E. Joseph Savoy, University of Louisiana, Lafayette; and President C. Reynold Verrett, Xavier University of Louisiana. Also joining us today are delegates from around the state, around the country, and the globe. Delegates, please remain standing until the last delegate is announced. Representing Allegheny College, Dr. Paul Fidel, Jr. Representing the American Historical Society, Dr. Mary Nile Mitchell. Representing Bucknell University, Josh Grill. Representing Clark University, Daniel Shea. Representing Columbia University, Dr. Eliza Gill. Representing Emerson College, Robin Canner. Representing Franklin and Marshall College, Dr. Min Hyun. Representing Furman University, James N. Howell, Jr. Representing Harvard University, Dr. Earl Bryant. Representing Indiana University, Dr. Robert Montjoy. Representing the International Technological University, Dr. Greg O'Brien. Representing Livingstone College, Ruby Broadway. Representing Middlebury College, Olga Kocher. Representing Purdue University, Dr. Suthayadev Mahesh. Representing Seton Hall University, Ellen Conway Ballone. Representing Skidmore College, Dr. Pamela Shaw. Representing the University of Georgia, Ashley Lang. Representing the University of Innsbruck, Dr. Gerhard Rampel. Representing the University of Miami, Sarah McLaughlin. Representing the University of North Carolina, Dr. Gordon Nick Mueller. Representing the University of Pennsylvania, Alan Canner. Representing the University of St. Thomas, Dylan Knoll. Representing Virginia Tech University, Jenny Higgins. And representing the Washington and Lee University, Lee Egan. Also here with us today, the Interim Vice President for Academic Affairs, Norm Whitley. Vice President for Business Affairs, Greg Lassen. Dean of the College of Business Administration, John Williams. Dean of the College of Liberal Arts, Education, and Human Development, Kim Long. Dean of the College of Sciences, Steve Johnson. Dean of the College of Engineering, Emir Makari. And the Interim Dean of the Library, Laura Amsbury Auger. And joining President Nicklow are his family members, his wife Stacy, his son Ethan, his sister-in-law Jackie Bernardi, and her husband Barry. It's now my privilege to present individuals who bring greetings to President Nicklow, the Honorable Mitchell J. Landrieu, Mayor of the City of New Orleans.
Representing the Catholic University of America. I'm not even going to attempt to go back through the establishment of protocol, which was extraordinary. Dennis, thank you so much. But just greetings to all of you. Thank you so much for having me with you today. Tim and Greg and Mary, thank you guys for coming back. Thank you for your leadership of this university over the many years. I know that both of you lived and worked in the shadow of Homer Hitt from 1962, when this university was established, having conferred over 70,000 degrees since then. You get a sense of how important a university like this is to the life of a major American city. For those of you that have been with us for many, many, many years, after Katrina, Rita, Ike, Gustav, the national recession, the BP oil spill, we would have been forgiven if we would have just kind of faded away. But for the people of New Orleans who have a deep and abiding love for who we are as a people and where the city of New Orleans sits in the heart and in the view of the rest of the world, much less the rest of the United States of America, we all know that we have something special to offer. And as we have come together through thick and through thin over the many, many years and tried to rebuild the city, we all committed not to build the city back the way it was, but to actually take the opportunity to build the city in the way that she should have always been, so that she can express all of her splendor and all of her gifts to the rest of the world. You know, after Katrina, everybody came to help us, and our promise was that we were going to become this nation's immediate laboratory for innovation and change. And with our university presidents, with our faculty members, with all of the individuals that are working across all of the sectors in New Orleans, we are beginning to deliver that promise. But that promise cannot be fulfilled if we do not provide a wonderful education to each and every child that is born in New Orleans, or every human being that wants to come into this city. And that if we can only do one thing in this city, it should be creating a space for wonderful lifelong learning from a very early age until the time that people just feel like they want to stop. This morning I had the great pleasure of cutting the ribbon at Martin Luther King High School in the lower 9th Ward, a place in the city that they said would never come back. This city has set about making sure that not only early childhood education, but primary and secondary, and of course university education is prime in the minds of all of the people here. And of course, there's no more important institution in the city of New Orleans than the University of New Orleans. There is no way that a city can be great if it doesn't have a great university. And of course, that can't happen if you don't have great leadership. So Dr. Nicklow, we are here to thank you for stepping up to the plate and to do what it is that we say in the city, is that running towards the fire. Go to the place where the greatest need is. Go to the place where the greatest moment is. And you have, at this particular point in time, a man who has met his moment, and a university that has stepped up to that time in the development of a great city, when actually the world is looking to the city of New Orleans to reflect to them not only the best that New Orleans has to offer, but the best that we have to offer the rest of the world. And so I come today on behalf of the people of the city of New Orleans to pledge our cooperation, to pledge our allegiance, to make sure that we together can work to not only make UNO a great university, but to have UNO help make the city of New Orleans a great city. So God bless you and Godspeed. Congratulations.
Mayor Landrieu, thank you so much. Our next speaker representing the staff of the University of New Orleans, Ms. Leanne Sipe, President of the Staff Council.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Dr. Nicklow, faculty, staff, students. I'm so honored to be able to provide some brief remarks on behalf of the staff today during this historic day in the history of UNO. Believe it or not, in my time in higher education, both as a student and as an employee, I have worked with 8 different university presidents. One thing that each of them had in common, despite their different priorities, was that they told us that our people were our greatest asset. I've heard that many times over the years, but oftentimes that was followed with a but. Our people are our greatest asset, but you're going to have to learn to do more with less. You're going to have to make decisions with who may not belong here anymore. I worked with people who were unfamiliar with us and our work and the support that we provided to the academic process in the institution. But working with John Nicklow has been different. When he tells me and the staff on this campus that our people are our greatest asset, I know that he means it. Not because he says it, but because he shows us that. He is the boots on the ground, just like the rest of us. This man has dedicated more time to each of us and to our students, dedicated far more time than he probably should, as I'm sure his family might feel sometimes. I see him everywhere, and I tell you, I'm the interim director of our Student Involvement and Leadership Office. If I see him everywhere, that means this man is everywhere, supporting our students, supporting each of us. And I just want to take this moment to say thank you already for showing us your dedication by giving us your time and bringing us your experience. Your words mean something, and I look forward to making things happen with you. It's often been said that Dr. John Nicklow is an impatient man. He's always ready for action. But I can tell you that I am an impatient woman as well, and I work with an impatient staff and faculty and students who are ready to take this institution to the next level. And I'm looking forward to make those good things happen together. Congratulations, Dr. Nicklow, and thank you.
Next up, representing the faculty of the University of New Orleans, the president of the Faculty Senate, Dr. Cherie Trumbach.
Hello, everyone. I'm starting to lose count of the number of times that I have given a speech involving Dr. Nicklow. But each time, I consider it an honor and a privilege, especially to be standing here today at the investiture of Dr. John Nicklow as the 7th president of the University of New Orleans. This is my second term as president of the Faculty Senate. I remember when I took office at the end of spring 2015, the mood of campus was fairly grim, but there was a slight glimmer of hope emerging because we knew that a new provost was coming to town. Before he came into campus, I had only met Dr. Nicklow once, very briefly, and heard him speak for only a few minutes. My main thought was, wow, he's a big guy. But our first interaction over lunch, I was struck by his calmness and optimism. It was very easy to have an open and honest conversation with him. That glimmer of hope that I had heard expressed by others who had dealt with him from afar trickled down to me. At the first Senate meeting of the 2015-16 school year, I expressed that hope in a speech at the beginning of the Senate meeting. I said these words: "Each year, we hope that we have turned a corner and stability is here. This year, I will continue to hold on to that hope. It is the only way in which we will ever have the environment that we crave. It is tough to be hopeful given that what we have been through, but I am making a conscious choice to do so. This is my home, and our students deserve our best. It's the start of a new year, and we have a new provost who I believe respects this faculty and believes in shared governance. With that being said, I hope that you will all join me this year in institutionalizing the strength of this Senate." I distinctly remember that very first faculty meeting of last year. Tensions were high. Faculty members were on edge about a number of issues. The last meeting before the summer break was intense, to put it mildly. I was nervous about how this Senate meeting would transpire. But after I spoke, Dr. Nicklow approached the microphone. It was as if a wave of calm blew over the room. Dr. Nicklow expressed his hope that his relationship with the faculty would be characterized by openness, transparency, and collaboration. Over the past year, that commanding sense of calm has taken over the room on many occasions, and it has been a privilege to see those hopes materializing. Then, oddly enough, by the next Senate meeting, we were discussing the start of a search for a new president at UNO, and we have seen other significant changes. Some good changes that we have experienced is a clear and focused path towards improving enrollment and the implementation of those things stated by Dr. Nicklow in that first Senate meeting: openness, transparency, and collaboration. I also distinctly remember the first meeting that Dr. Fasil Rusev, the Senate Vice President, and I had with Dr. Nicklow as provost. We were amazed by his penchant for details and the fact that his iPad apparently held the entire history of UNO on it. Again, I was blown away by Dr. Nicklow, and it further deepened my hope for the future of the university. When Dr. Nicklow was named a finalist for the position of president, it was an honor to sit before the UL System Board as representative of the faculty and give the reasons for a strong support from the faculty for Dr. Nicklow. And those reasons remain today. Believe it or not, we don't always agree on every issue, do any of us. But it is a great pleasure to work with a president who is truly concerned with the thoughts of the faculty, to whom I have no problem expressing our disagreements, and who looks for real solutions when they exist. A president who, when a strong, data-driven case is made for changing courses, is willing to do so, who is willing to roll up his sleeves and do the hard work, and who is deserving of our trust. We have been through a lot as a university, and there are challenging times ahead. But today, I do feel that we have turned a corner, and that with Dr. Nicklow at the helm, I do have a sense of stability. The future for higher education as a whole is undetermined. There are forces across the country pushing for change, and sometimes in different directions, whether it is coming from the state level, federal level, accrediting bodies, or due to changes in technology and market needs. Make no mistake, no matter how uncomfortable it makes us all feel, higher education is changing. However, with Dr. Nicklow as president, with his optimism, his drive for research-based decisions, and entrepreneurial spirit, I don't look to that future as an unknown black hole. I look to the future with an eye for the many opportunities that are out there awaiting the University of New Orleans, and I hope you will too. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Trumbach. Representing the students of the University of New Orleans, the Student Government Association President and University of Louisiana System Student Representative, Mr. Antonio Torres.
Your ego after all these speeches is going to be... All right. First of all, before I get started, I just want to take a second to thank everyone who has a hand in planning any of the events this week. UNO is truly making history this week, so please join me in giving them a round of applause. Before I get serious, I got to get something off my chest. Yesterday, Dr. John Nicklow's portrait was presented. And if you haven't seen it, it's okay. It's, you know, it's a portrait. It's got a beautiful background, maybe Hawaii it looks like, and Dr. Nicklow standing tall in his regalia. That's not even what I'm mad about, okay? What I'm mad about is how he managed to look excited and a little confused all at the same time. With that aside, as student body president, I think I should get a portrait too, if that's okay with you. Seriously though, honesty and transparency. As a student body president, I get the privilege of sitting in on a lot of meetings, some which are held concerning what can be viewed as daunting subjects. Never have I heard Dr. Nicklow want to sequester or downplay the seriousness of a concern. But instead, when he communicates with the UNO community, he offers solutions with great confidence that UNO will remain on top when it's all said and done. Commitment. It's no secret that I have an unhealthy amount of pride for our university. And to this day, I have found only but a handful of people who can talk about UNO with the same conviction that I do. I'm proud to say that Dr. Nicklow, who is not an alum of our university, is one of those people. Approach. If you know Dr. Nicklow, you know he approaches every problem very strategically and does not make a move until he knows every statistic on why something is the way it is. In the time that I have been lucky enough to work with Dr. Nicklow, this strategy has served him and the university well. Now, before we all pass out from the heat out here, let me end by saying that as long as you continue to be a champion for the students at the University of New Orleans, at both the university level and the state level, you will continue to have our support. Thank you for not leaving at 4:30 when there's still work to be done, for keeping a high visibility at almost all student events, and your endless efforts to make UNO the best it can be. As always, but especially today, I'm proud to be a privateer and call Dr. John Nicklow our president. Thank you.
Beautiful. At this time, I'd like to introduce Dr. Dan Renaud, Interim President of the University of Louisiana System.
Thank you. Dr. Nicklow, please join me at the podium. Wow, this is a big guy. Dr. Nicklow, the presidential chain of office is inscribed with the names of 7 individuals who have served as Chief Executive Officer since this institution's inception in 1956. Your name has been inscribed as the 7th leader and CEO. Inherent in this chain is the indelible connection you have to each of your predecessors and to the storied history of this institution. This chain and the office it represents also embodies the ultimate responsibility for safeguarding and protecting the future of this university, for educating its students, for inspiring its faculty, for leading its staff, for encouraging research that will create new opportunities, and for reaching the local community and beyond. Dr. Nicklow, by installing you as the University of New Orleans' 7th leader, we proclaim our confidence in your ability to meet these expectations, and we affirm our faith in the future of this great institution. Therefore, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the University of Louisiana System Board of Supervisors, and with the presentation of the presidential chain of office, I am pleased to officially install you as the President of the University of New Orleans with all the rights, privileges, and obligations pertaining thereto. Let me get this chain. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my distinct pleasure to present to you Dr. John W. Nicklow, President of the University of New Orleans.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Renaud. Thank all of you for being here. It is such a pleasure to be with you this afternoon, together on our beautiful campus. I can't tell you how much it means to me, to my family, that you're here to share this day with us. If you could see what I see, this is just an absolute amazing sight. In fact, hold on. You'll see that in Instagram and Twitter later. I want to first say thanks to our students here today for taking time out of your very busy schedules to be present. Thank you, Antonio, for your kind words. I also want to thank our faculty and staff here today for everything you do on a daily basis to make a positive impact on our students and their lives and to make this institution great. Cherie and Leanne, your support and your partnership means so much to me and to the future of this institution and our success. I need to recognize an incredible team of individuals, including Deborah Daniels and Ellen Lee, who worked tirelessly, I think for several months, to organize all of today's events. Clearly, we've even arranged the weather. Special thanks to our University of Louisiana System board members here today, Chair Martin, Mr. Perkins, as well as Dr. Renaud, Interim System President. I very much appreciate your leadership of a tremendously important group of institutions. I want to thank our elected officials who made time in their demanding schedules to join us today, especially to Mayor Landrieu. Your leadership and your support of the University of New Orleans are vital and very much appreciated. Let me also thank a number of our sponsors, especially our presenting sponsors, Gary and Martha Solomon, Geocent, Postal Wait and Netterville, and Sodexo. Your generosity helped lead the effort to raise scholarship dollars around this week's events, and I'm proud to announce that around all of the events, we've now raised over $300,000 in scholarships and Alumni Association programming to support student success. Those are scholarships that directly benefit our students and allow them to fulfill goals of a college education and launch their professional career. Thank you again to all of the sponsors and each of you that contributed. Thanks to our alumni and to other close friends of the University of New Orleans that are here today. And I want to give a special thanks to our distinguished university presidents and all of the delegates appointed by the universities around the country. I'm very honored to have you all here today. I want to thank some of my longtime friends and colleagues from around the country who made it here today. It means so much to me that you're here to share in the celebration. And I want to take time to thank my family. My brothers, my sisters who are viewing from afar right now, my sister-in-law and her husband who are in attendance today, your support and your encouragement has been so important through my life. And I want to say a very special thanks to my mother and my late father. My mother couldn't be here today, but I know she's watching via the live stream. And I can guarantee you my father is watching right now, but from much further. I am who I am because of both of you. I could not have asked for better teachers or mentors. And finally, I want to thank my son Ethan and my wife, the other Dr. Nicklow. Ethan, you make me proud every day. Sometimes I don't know how you do it. Thanks for your patience, your understanding, and your support through an awfully busy schedule and some late nights. I appreciate it. And Stacy, you have been my best friend and my greatest cheerleader for many years. Thank you for your support and for your love. The presidency is a team effort. I can attest to that. And I could not have a better teammate. Thank you. This day carries a lot of significance for me personally and professionally. I certainly never set out in my career to be a college president. I'm not sure who would do that. What I did set out to do was to have a positive impact on the lives of others. And whether it was as a commissioned officer with a public health service, a faculty member in engineering, or as a university administrator, I hope that I've been able to positively affect lives, especially those of students, and to help put them on a path of success in their lives. We're calling this week Making History, a celebration of University of New Orleans leadership. I'm especially proud to be leading an institution and a campus that embodies the same goals and shares my passion for student success in such a broad and impactful way. I consider myself pretty lucky. Each and every day, I get to do what I love. I get to have a powerful impact on students' lives and hopefully transform them in a meaningful and sometimes unimaginable way. And I get to see the tangible results when students receive their diplomas at graduation. I've also been given the opportunity to lead an incredibly talented and dedicated group of faculty and staff. These are the people that really deserve the recognition today because they are the teachers, they are the mentors, and they are the researchers that directly impact students the most on a daily basis. So thank you. Leading such a complex organization is a really special task. The impressive part, though, is when we all come together to realize one vision, we accomplish some pretty amazing things. There's so many different people, so many different positions and responsibilities, but when we're all working in sync to create a one-of-a-kind educational experience for our students, it's truly exceptional. And one of my goals is to be able to look back years from now and say that together we created the beginning of a new era for the University of New Orleans, an era of new growth and an era of vitality. This university is one like no other. It has opportunities that many other institutions only dream of having. We have some of the highest quality academic programming and well-rounded educational experiences that prepare students to succeed and make their mark. Our track record and our potential for research is very strong. We have an active and a very engaged student body. And we are located in one of the most unique and fascinating cities in the world, with culture, music and art, food, a zeal for life, and opportunity that is absolutely unmatched. It's also an institution that has a great history behind it, and that's why this week's theme, Making History, was such an obvious choice. This week's events speak to the impact that our university has had throughout history. From Judge Zaney's insightful presidential lecture series last evening, which focused on justice, community service, and the rule of law, speaking to the impact that our university and its graduates have had on social justice issues, to tomorrow's Distinguished Alumni Gala at the World War II Museum, where we'll honor our Alumnus of the Year, the President and CEO of New Orleans Tourism and Marketing Corporation and the Superdome's Voice of the Saints, Mark Romig. And all of the other events that we've scheduled this week. This university has wielded significant impact through time, and it is important to pause and to reflect and to celebrate. I believe strongly that the impact we have through life and ultimately our legacy that we leave behind is related to our ability to influence the lives of others. It's our choice to do it positively or negatively, and it's our choice whether we learn from others and collaborate to grow that influence by creating new firsts. We've done an exceptional job at this institution of creating those firsts. In 1958, this institution opened as the first fully integrated public university in the South. It was the first university in New Orleans to reopen after Hurricane Katrina in October 2005, and the only university to reopen during the fall 2005 semester. The National World War II Museum, which is now the most visited tourist attraction in New Orleans, is the first of its kind and was conceived by two University of New Orleans faculty, Stephen Ambrose and Nick Mueller. And our campus is a special place that continues to be full of uniqueness and benefits our city and our region. We are the only public research university in New Orleans. We have educated students from all 64 parishes, all 50 states, and more than 130 countries around the world. And speaking of impact, the university has now a documented $500 million annual economic impact on an 8-parish New Orleans metropolitan region. And there are more than 42,000 University of New Orleans alumni just in the New Orleans area alone. This fantastic city works and is growing because of the University of New Orleans. In the past year, we've been named a top college by the U.S. News & World Report, the Princeton Review, Forbes magazine, and others. And for the 6th straight year, our university was named to the U.S. News & World Report's least debt list, which recognizes institutions whose students graduate with the lowest average debt load. Couple that with our recent ranking of graduates that have the highest early career salaries in Louisiana at any public or private institution, and it means we have incredible value to offer to our students, alongside a world-class education. We continue to offer the only civil, mechanical, and electrical engineering programs in the Metro New Orleans area. And we have the only naval architecture and marine engineering program in the region, and one of only a handful in the entire country. We have the only master's degree in urban planning in the state. We now have the only School of the Arts in the region. And our master's program in hospitality and tourism and management has had a 100% industry-specific job placement rate since the inception of its program. And our artistic impact reaches far. Each year, more of our students, faculty, and alumni perform on more stages at Jazz Fest than any other university. Our computer science department has unique certifications from the Department of Homeland Security and the National Security Agency. And we've prepared more educators in New Orleans than any other institution. And there's much, much more. But I mentioned these as an example of why I'm so proud to lead this institution. We are creating unique impact and positive influence on others each and every single day. This university is indeed a special place because of its history, but moreover, because of the history we're going to make together by building on those unique characteristics and our strengths. When I was named president, I laid out what I thought were our key priorities. And my vision and our strategies are built very clearly around those priorities today. First, we will increase our enrollment. After years of decline, we are now building the foundation and implementing the strategies needed for growth. And we're seeing early signs of payoff from those efforts. This is critical for this institution's future, and it is my top priority. Hard work, energy, and persistence will get us there. Second, we will expand our research portfolio. Research and creative activity are part of this campus's core attributes. They ensure that our students learn state-of-the-art and they improve student engagement. And we're making progress on building our research heritage and working to revitalize our research outcomes. Third, I want to dramatically grow our partnerships with business, the community, and our alumni. We supply the workforce, the talent, and the energy for the region, and we need to give our students outstanding practical experiences that businesses provide. There's mutual benefit. And with the support and engagement of our alumni, we will broaden the footprint of this institution. Our alumni can do that like no one else can. It's no coincidence that I have significantly increased our outreach and our communication efforts. That's directly aimed at strengthening our partnerships because they do provide mutual benefit. This institution has a tremendously promising future, I assure you. And around these priorities, we will realize this vision and reinvigorate our institution and its impact. But remember, at the center of all those efforts, we will continue to transform lives. As I mentioned, in conjunction with this week's events, we've raised more than $300,000 for scholarships and programming to support student success. I am pleased to announce today that that is only the beginning. Today I'm launching a $1 million scholarship campaign for our students. These scholarships will directly support our campus's growth and provide a pathway to a degree and a career for more students. I truly believe that the mark a person makes on the world is not a material one. Those who succeed in the truest sense of the word are those that leave their mark on others. This campaign is a great way for all of us to make a mark on the lives of our students. I couldn't be more confident about our future. And my commitment to you, to the University of New Orleans, is this. I will do everything I can do to support, to collaborate, and grow the legacy of this amazing institution so that together we continue to make history in ways that will elevate the lives of our students, of members of the community, and the citizens of our fragile world. Thank each of you, again, for sharing this special day with me and with our family. Thank you.
Congratulations, President Nicklow. We would like to thank again all of our sponsors for this week, which we are calling Making History, a celebration of University of New Orleans leadership. Again, our 4 presenting sponsors are Geocent, Sodexo, Postal Wait and Netterville, and Gary and Martha Solomon. Thanks to all of you who participated in this important event. I hope you will join us for a reception located to my right near the water feature. Please stand now and sing the University of New Orleans alma mater, which is printed in your programs. Please remain standing for the recessional. Thank you very much.
You and our alma mater, proud we stand to sing your fame. You and all, we honor your dear name. Memories will linger on when our years with you have gone, and keep us true to the silver and blue.
Thank you.